Ciao, Napoli Nation, man. Welcome back. Napoli Nation TV has now got 2 episodes in, and this is episode 2, the Juve Destruction.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mario?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good back in California,
Yep, back home. Home.
huh? You'll be back here soon enough. And the one thing I wanted to say right away is thank you to the subscribers out there. We just hit 100 less than a week. So that's awesome. Keep on sharing our videos so that we can get those
Appreciate y'all.
subscribers up and up and up. Yep. And let's see. So here's the rundown, man. So we're going to go over, of course, the Juve match. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff with that match. We'll bring in Dom, who's big on Twitter. Everybody knows who Dom is. His first time in Napoli.
Tom
He's going to talk a
BX.
little bit about being in Napoli for the first time with Mario, and that will be cut into the show. We're also going to try to get Oma from Nigeria, a good friend of Victor Osimhen, into the show. And let's see what else. We're going to talk about the Coppa match. I really don't want to
Oof.
talk about that a lot, but we'll at least cover it a little bit and just see what that means for the future of our mentality and everything.
Mhm.
And over the preview of the Salernitana Napoli match that's coming up on Saturday night.
Big
I
game.
was gonna go to that match, but I've decided not to because of the ban on the visitor section for the road fans. So I'll find a pub or something out in town in Napoli and watch it. We'll go over what I just mentioned. We'll talk about that a little bit, why the 2 month ban has been in effect, and then we'll talk a little bit about the city and food. And since Napoli was since Dom visited Napoli for his first time, he's going to talk about that, and then we'll go over some transfer market stuff. All right, man. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Oh boy, what do you think about that match, Mario? Man, we took them out, didn't we?
Yeah, we freaking killed them. I didn't expect a 5-1 victory. I know we all predicted a win on our previous podcast, but 5-1, no one came close to saying that. You were the closest at 3-1, right? Um, I think we all pretty much said Osimhen was going to get his goal, and I think that's like the biggest thing to take away from this match is that Osimhen killed them. And obviously I can get into a Cavada as well. Him coming back into form, it's ridiculous what these two stars can do on our team. But they're back.
Ooh, we got the best tandem in Europe right now. They when them two are clicking, Napoli is absolutely unstoppable. And the one thing that is really great about the players that we have in general, including them two, and all the players that support them in attack, is that we really don't seem to have like a set formation. Like there's not really a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. During the match, they just seem to transition in and out of that. And the players just, like Spalletti has said before, they look for open space and they go to that and they make use of that to get an effect on the game. You know what I mean? So I really love how much freedom the players have and how Spalletti is letting them to do that. And I don't even know if we need to even talk about an actual formation anymore with the way that they're playing. What do you think?
Personally, like Faletti said, he's explained his whole formation tactics. He doesn't really have one. He just goes with the flow and allows the players to have their own space. I think this works best with Osimhen, especially with the counters that we create for him. The long balls, especially, it allows Cavada to have a lot of space on the left side. And, sometimes I also want to see Cavada go to the right some more. I think earlier in the season, he was doing that much more often, but I haven't seen him really do that. He has been coming back and helping out defense every now and then. But, I think what he's focused on is getting his form back. And I don't know. Me, I would do a 4-3-3 if I had to really choose a formation. I think that's what we're most successful at. But what do you think?
Like I'm saying, like I don't know if it's important to actually understand what formation they're in. They're in as long as the players are performing and they're able to find the open space. That's what's important. But I'll tell you what, man.
Right.
On the right hand side, we do have one position that looks like it's getting close to being maybe something that Elmas could start actually playing there normally. I
Yep.
want to see what's going to happen in this game coming up against Salernitana and then especially against Roma to see who actually plays on the right. But the whole Politano versus Lozano and now really versus Elmas situation on the right hand side, I hope that that we don't get any drama caused by that's going on because we all saw Lozano came in at the very end of the game. He wasn't even on the bench for the Coppa Italia game, and Elmas is playing really, really
There's a
good.
reason for that, though.
Oh, really? What did you
Yeah,
see
he had
something about Lozano?
in the previous tournament. That's why he wasn't there.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yeah, that was weird too. That's
So, I
why I had to.
mean, you know, let's get into that a little bit. Who do you think should Spalletti be picking to play on the right hand side as our regular starter? Do you think he should have somebody that's a regular, or do you think he can just keep doing what he's doing and he just picks whoever he thinks might be best for that match at any given time?
I mean, I'm saying Elmas day and night, and I'm saying the second choice is Lozano day and night. The third choice is Politano day and night. I think it should be that easy for Spalletti to decide this now. I've given Politano the benefit of the doubt. These past two matches have proven me otherwise. I'm done with him. Let's get a move on with this guy. I mean, you also saw him during the Juve match. I don't know if he got injured early, but he just looked sluggish. In the throw-in, he wouldn't turn his back around to the player to even try to get the ball. And even I forgot who it
Nah.
was throwing it in. But he even looked at him all weird, like, "Are you gonna turn around?" So I don't know if he's just losing interest, like in what's happening, or he just really is. Just I don't know. He looks like he's lacking motivation, And I feel like that's what Chucky has best is motivation. And we could really use some speed on the right side. But obviously, I can't pick Chucky over Elmas right now because Elmas has proven us that he's matured heavily. He's gotten what 6 goal contributions in the last 6 games, something like that. It's crazy. I don't know how you can't start the guy. He's shown maturity and his mentality has really evolved.
100%. Let's bring Dom in and see what he thinks about this situation because everybody out there knows who Dom has been supporting from day one when Chucky came to the team. So let's see what Dom has to say about this situation.
All right, Don, welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you here. So, real quick, while we talk about the situation regarding Elmas, Politano, and Lozano, I just really want to hear your inside thoughts about what you think should happen at that right wing spot.
Well, I mean, business-wise, I think we should definitely keep Lozano starting on that position because he's leaving this summer, I'm pretty sure. So, if we want to keep the price tag where it's at or bring it up, well, we're gonna have to play him. Performance-wise, I don't know what's going on. I don't think. I think when he came in and he helped us out with Empoli, that was huge. I still think there's a lot of talent with Lozano. I think people are just expecting him to be, I don't know, like a Neymar or something. Like he's just gonna come in and completely switch up the game. I understand that because he is making, what is it, 5 million? I think that's what he's
Yeah,
making.
around that. Yep.
Yeah. So I can understand people being frustrated because he's one of the most highest paid players on our squad.
Yeah,
And performance-wise, he's not putting up the numbers what people expect. But I mean, you already know where I stand on Lozano. He's
of
no
course.
scrub. Um, I think Politano's. I mean, I don't think he's the. I don't think he's the answer from God either. I mean,
Yeah, no.
you know what I mean? Like I saw him in that Coppa Italia match, and he was horrible.
Really.
So yeah, I don't
And
think
you
he
saw him
could.
against Juve too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Live in action. Uh-huh.
I know. Wait, hold on. Did he play? Did he play in the Coppa
Did
Italia
he?
match?
I don't know. I don't think he did actually. He didn't start.
He didn't start. I don't think
No,
he. I
yeah.
don't even think he played because Elmas playing on that side.
Yep.
And then I remember watching the game with you at the stadium. We weren't too happy with what we were seeing from
Nah,
Politano.
yeah. He looked very sluggish.
Yeah, he did get that assist though. I mean, well, it wasn't an assist. He hit it to Guevara. Guevara tried to tried to get it in, and deflected, and then that's when Osman came in and scored.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you saw how he was. He wasn't anything spectacular, you know.
He had
So
no
I
motivation. I'm
no
telling
man.
you.
So I definitely think that that's our weakest position on the field. That's for sure. I mean, I think everyone could agree
That's
there.
fair. Yeah.
But Elmas coming in, I was completely surprised. Like when they took Politano out and Elmas came in, like he was cooking. Like he
Yeah.
was he was dangerous. So I think we already fixed the problem pretty much. I think
Hopefully.
yeah, for next season, I think Elmas will most likely be starting on that side, and then we'll probably pick up somebody that could be his backup if
Yeah.
Politano and Lozano leave. I'm pretty sure Lozano's gone. He already said that
Yeah.
his
I believe
intention
that
was to
too.
move. Yeah. Um, yes, that's where I stand with Lozano. I mean, I'm gonna follow the guy wherever he goes. I'm a fan of his for my years living in San Diego, and I'll always be a fan of Lozano. But yeah, I definitely think it's time to move. It's my time to move on.
All right. Thank you, Dom. And I want to get with you about Raspadori. We haven't seen too much of him. How come?
Oh man, I don't know. So I mean, so he has been good as a sub, but he's also shown that he can be good as a starter. And I'll be honest with you, I thought there was a chance that he was actually going to start in that Juve game. It didn't work out the way that like we didn't need him, so he didn't need to start. But I feel like at some point Spalletti's going to be compelled to start him somehow, some way. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this Salernitana game, maybe it's the first opportunity that he gets to start, just because he might have two or three players that Spalletti is thinking about giving a little bit more rest to. Oh, you know what? I did see something. I don't know if it's official that Cavada is not going to be available for the Salernitana game. So if that's official, then Cavada might actually give way to Raspadori on that left hand side. And I don't think we're going to miss a beat, man. Raspadori, every time he's played, he has looked really, really good. So
Mm.
I think that it won't really affect the way that we perform if Raspadori actually starts in place of Cavada, who looks like is going to be sitting out. And then talking about Cavada, whew, if he's not all the way back after seeing what he did against Juve, then he's going to set the world on fire. I mean, he definitely looked like the Cavada that we're used to at the beginning of the season versus Juve, and I'm just hoping that he continues to get back to that form. And the fact that he's sitting out for Salernitana, maybe it's more of a precautionary thing. So we'll see what happens with that.
So I want to get into Raspadori some more, but before we do that, and then we'll get into the Cremonese match. Let's do the man of the match and the flop of the match for Napoli before we move on from that match in general. So for me, the man of the match, I had Osimhen, obviously, 2 goals, 1 assist, and we've been waiting for him to, be a big time player in these big time games, even though he's already done it against Roma. I guess you could say Udinese too, but they're not really too big, and also Atalanta. But the flop of the match for me, it's easily Bremer. I mean, he allowed a deflection goal, and also Osimhen was killing him in the air and on the ground. He's supposed to be one of the top 2 defenders in the league, and also obviously Juve having 8 straight clean sheets in a row. He's been part of that, so I expected much more from Bremer, even though Osimhen is a force. What do you think?
Yeah, Bremer is supposed to be one of the best defenders in Serie A, and
Yeah,
he looked like he had no clue what he was doing in that match. He
we know why though.
he didn't make any good effect on the game. Well, nobody can stop Victor, right? But I mean, shoot, when they played Roma, Smalling did pretty good against Victor for the majority of the match, right? It wasn't like he was
Until
getting
he also
manhandled.
allowed the goal, but
Yeah, he did. He did. He
he
did.
got
He did.
manhandled actually in the end there, literally manhandled.
Yeah. Go talking about Victor a little bit. Do you think that this is the match where that chip that's been on his shoulder about not being able to be the guy that we need in a big match is now gone? Do you think that pressure's been lifted and now he's just going to start tearing it up even more?
Just knowing Osimhen, I don't think this match had any chip on his shoulder. I don't really think he ever had one in the first place. Like in his mind. I feel like he's just like a lion on the field. He doesn't have any kind of pressure behind him. I mean, that's just what I'm looking at when I see him play. He's always out there trying his hardest, whether he scores or he doesn't. He's always contributing to our attack. So that's what I think about that.
And the other thing I need to say who my man of the match is. Whew, man, to me, there's no way that you cannot say it's Victor. I mean, a brace and an assist, and he was absolutely unstoppable the entire match. I mean, they had no answer for him. So, I mean, he had one of his normal matches, to be honest, but he ended up scoring a brace while he was performing. He always plays with that fire in his belly, and it's just nice when we can see him score when he's playing like that too. So, oh man, I was very, very happy about how he ended up performing and getting that brace. And then flop of the match, man, for me, it is 100% Allegri. He's not in the field, but he had no clue how to have his players ready. There was nothing about that game from a tactic standpoint that ever threatened Napoli. The goal they scored was pretty much a fluke type of goal. So for
Which I
me, it was
called.
Allegri. And what's
They're gonna
that?
score like that, which I called. We were at the game, and I said they're gonna score one fluke. It's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
Juventus. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, man. So, and then the comments that he said after the match, trying to sort of deflect how crappy Juventus just is in general. And then, I mean, they lost 5-1. I mean, I don't think maybe it isn't that he doesn't realize how big of a deal that is, because they were supposed to be like getting back into the Scudetto race, and this is what they are right now. This right here, see this? This right here? That right there is all we need to say about this team, because they are not what they used to be. And it
They're not
feels
that bad.
good. It feels good. I think they are that bad, man. I really do. I think that this run of scoreless of clean sheets was more of a fluke than it was real. There was several games where they were winning just by one goal. They weren't
They've always done that
playing.
for years. They've done that for years now.
Yeah, they have. That's a good point. I mean, they have done that, but they weren't even playing a whole bunch of really good teams either. Let's see what happens. Let's see how they react. Let's see what happens this
Yeah.
next match day, and let's see if they can actually get back to getting some points. I don't even know who they play. I'm going to take a look right now. Guess who they play?
Who do they play?
It is at home. It is at home, but guess who they play?
Who?
Atalanta.
On fire, Atalanta. Wow,
Yeah,
that's another test for them.
Eight goals
They've
scoring
gotten
Atalanta.
they've gotten 8 and 5. They've gotten 12 goals in the last 2 games, by the way, that they played.
You know what's crazy about that, though? If you look at the standings, they've gotten that many goals in the last 2 games, and they're still 10 goals behind us in goals scored. That is crazy.
Yeah, Atalanta is a second half of the season team. We've been on that.
That is crazy. So to finish up on this match, do you think that this match, at least for Juve not being in the Scudetto race anymore, we can at least say that. We can talk about that, I think, a little bit. Do you think they're out of the Scudetto race now?
If they lose this next upcoming match, I think that's just the icing on the cake. I mean, think about it. After a long streak of showing defensive, stature, they get 5 goals scored on them. What if they get 3 or 4 on them by Atalanta? That would definitely be a heartbreak for them. And I think that would conclude their Scudetto race. Right now, I think it's truly us, Milan, and Inter has a chance to get back in it just because they've shown they still got it. But they are what?
You see what they
behind right
just
now, or
did versus
14?
Milan.
Right.
That
That's
they
what I'm
just
saying.
killed Milan in the Super Coppa.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I told
Inter's
you
not going to
not to
go
count
away.
Inter out. I said that.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever we lost 1-0, it was not a big deal for me. That's a good team.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. For me, Juve is 10 points back. That means they basically have to win 4 games that Napoli doesn't win. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I think Napoli's schedule the rest of the way, due to the
It's in our
fact that we
favor.
only
I mean, I'm
have,
not saying it's
well,
not
yeah,
in our favor, you know?
we have one road game against a top 16 the rest of the way. As it
Yeah.
stands right now with the standings, one and it's versus them.
Yeah.
You know, so if we go into their stadium and we beat them, I mean, it's absolutely over at that point. I mean, I don't know when that game is,
It would be
but
over prior to that, I think, for them. But for them to
yeah,
win the Scudetto, you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, I think so too. I think so too. All right, well, this match was Dom's first Napoli match that he's ever seen. So his first time in the city, right? And the first match that he goes to was this one. That is crazy.
Can't get
So
better than that.
Mario, let's bring Dom back in with you, like sort of on location with him, and we'll take a listen into what it was like for Dom being in Napoli for the first time.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk to you about with you next is actually about Napoli, not this just the team, but the city in general. You know, the people, the culture, the food. Just tell me about your experience down there.
I don't know what to say, man. I knew I was gonna love it. I knew I was gonna soak it all in, and it was gonna be an amazing experience. But you don't know how it is until you're there going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know where to start, man. As soon as I pulled in, um, I get off the train, and I go to the taxi line, and the guys are like, "Hey, man, you need a taxi? We got you." Real friendly, bro. So right off the bat, it's like it's like freaking 10 o'clock at night, and you know the guys are like just super cool. Um, I get to the spot, and I was staying in a place where it was like really like in the city. You know what I mean? I really got that
Yep.
that Napoli, you know, lounging experience. Like I had clotheslines from my
Yep.
window to the neighbor window across the way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was awesome, bro. I was like, bro, this is so cool. Um, the next day, my my first experience at the restaurant was amazing, man. The service was awesome. The
Yeah.
coffee, oh, forget about it. The coffee in Naples and the pizza, it's like hands down,
Top
like
tier.
yeah. I'm over here I'm gonna be dealing with Starbucks right now, man. It's just horrible. But yeah, man. I mean, it was an amazing experience, dude. Just walking around the city. One of my best experiences, other than the game, obviously, right,
Right.
was going to the underground cities. That was pretty impactful because they talked about the history and how um, the people of Naples were fighting the Nazis and how they were all living under there and the conditions were bad and like it was
Yep.
just I didn't know any of that, so that was cool. Um, But yeah, man, I want to go back. I'm already looking up for flights to go back in spring, and you know why, obviously.
Oh yeah. I think we all know why.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but, to sum it all up, the people. It's true what they say. It's all the positive things they say about Napoli is completely true. The
Yeah.
people are friendly, humble. They embrace you. They take you in so long as you respect them. You know what I mean? It was just people going to the stadium and leaving there at 12 o'clock, and you ask the owner of the restaurant that we were eating at, "Hey man, can you call us a taxi?" They call you a taxi with no
Yeah.
problems,
No
no
hesitation.
issues. Do you
Yeah.
do that over here in the States, bro? They're looking at you like, yeah, do that yourself. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, I mean, it was amazing, bro. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very proud that part of my roots comes from there too. You know what I mean? I really take that to. I'm really proud about that.
Thank you. Me too. Me too. Well, thanks, brother. I mean, that's really all we needed from you. I appreciate your input on Chucky Lozano and the city of Napoli, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you enjoyed your experience for real, and we'll definitely see you back there in late May, early June time.
Hell yeah, dude. Forza Napoli.
Sempre. All right, Dom. Thank you for that as well. I always enjoyed spending time with you in Napoli. I can't wait to see you again in the summer when we hopefully win the Scudetto. I'm not gonna jinx anything just yet, but we're looking real good.
You can't actually say it yet.
I won't say it. No, I won't say it till it happens.
So, are you telling me you need to wait for it to be mathematically done too before you can actually
No,
say it, man?
no. I think
Oh,
we'll
okay.
all know whenever
Okay.
it's really.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Just checking. Because we're that
it ain't over
close to
yet.
being at
Yeah,
the
we're
point.
close. Yeah, but it ain't over
Yeah.
just yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start talking about the Copa match for a little bit. A lot of you out there
Yeah.
understand my viewpoint on the Coppa Italia, and I don't think I'm ever going to really care about that tournament. I'll be honest with you, if Napoli's playing Juve in the final, of course I'm going to care. But other than that, man, the Copa is just not something for me that I think is important for the top tier clubs trying to fight for a Scudetto. So I was actually happy that Napoli exited the Coppa Italia early. The last thing we need to deal with while we're trying to close up this Scudetto run is a huge injury to one of our main players. So for me, the result in itself was I left my buddy's house happy that they actually exited. And the formation and the starters, I was very satisfied with how Spalletti approached the match, given a lot of the bench players the time to play. Some of the starters coming in the second half, I understand that he doesn't really want to lose the match. So I didn't have an issue with that either. And I don't think that a match like this is going to do anything for killing any momentum to the Scudetto or their mentality or anything like that. What did you think about that match, Mara? Did you like the performance of any of the players? Who do you think your man of the match and flop of the match is?
Well, before I get into that, I also want to say that the Coppa Italia to me is pretty important, especially for a team like us who are trying to exemplify who we are. Inter being the only Italian side to win the treble is pretty big, and to just understand that we had that chance like big time in the past years. This is the best chance we've had, and we choked it. We did do that. I understand the starters, how he set it up. A lot of bench players got some time to play. But with that, I also want to get into Raspadori. This was his time to shine, He didn't really show me much. In all fairness, Spalletti did sub him out quite early. But this was it for him. And yeah, you were just talking about making him a starter. But this was literally his worst match ever with us. I think his rating was like a 6.7, 6.8. I don't know. Or no, sorry, it was like a 6.6. Medet had a 6.3 somehow. I mean, I wouldn't put the blame on him like that because our defense looked atrocious. Our only upside, in all honesty, was Jesus. He got the goal, and he seemed he was the only one back there that was actually glued on defense. Ostigard, he got embarrassed a couple times there. I like Ostigard. To me, he reminds me of like a Cannavaro type player for some reason. It might just be his like bald head, but who knows? He was getting abused on that left side for like the good amount of the game, at least the first half. And also, I agree with Spalletti. Bringing in the starters. Seeing Osimhen come in there, seeing him hit that penalty pretty good. We were just talking about penalty takers. He looked pretty good there as
Man,
well.
he almost scored like
Yeah,
the when the whistle blew to get the ball back into play. He
yeah,
almost scored like right
guy's
away.
crazy,
That would
man.
have been
Yeah,
crazy if he scored. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna get too much into the match. Man of the match, Juan Jesus. Prolific goal. He didn't get him up. Oh fuck. Let me start over. Hold on. 31, 35, 31, 35. But let me get into the man of the match. So first, I have Juan Jesus. He got his goal and seemed to be the only man on defense who was consistent. And the flop of the match for me was Raspadori. I kind of already went into why, this was his time to shine, and he just didn't prove too much. I like Raspadori. He even kept his first 2 game shirts with us. He obviously means a lot to us, But next game, I'm hoping to see him start against Salernitana. That's what we're playing, right? Yeah. What do you think?
What did you think I mean, man, I really don't think about this match, to be honest. I don't give a shit about the Coppa. I
I've
really
been thinking
don't.
about it a lot.
But
Yeah.
but I did. I was curious to see how our new signing was going to play. Berezinski, I think I'm saying his name right. I just like to call him BB.
Mm.
What do you think about, like, did he show you anything that gave you any confidence that he can sub out Di Lorenzo or even maybe
We talked
start
about
for
this
him in any given game?
last. Yeah, we had this discussion in the last podcast. To me, I don't see him as a substitute for Di Lorenzo. I see him as like I don't know, like if D'Lo gets hurt, kind of substitute, not like a last minute 10, 15-minute thing. Nah, we've already seen what Di Lorenzo does. He plays full games and matches in a row. He's already had over 150 appearances with us. I mean, he's a big deal to us. The BB guy is not anywhere near D'Lo right now, and he won't even come close
Oh
as a
yeah.
sub, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree he's nowhere near D'Lo, but it would be nice if
Yeah,
even maybe every 2 or 3 matches, like if we're
yeah.
up by 2 or 3 goals, if D'Lo can get subbed out even like in the 75th minute.
He's our
I mean,
captain.
because
I just don't see it
but
happening.
remember what happened. But remember what happened last year with D'Lo getting burnt out, man. He got hurt
Yep.
last year,
Yep.
so I don't want that to happen again. So we'll have to see what's good with the Spalletti and see what he does about that. But I'll be honest with you, watching him from a fitness, just the way that he was running on the pitch, he seemed to be pretty fit. So that was a good sign. But
Yeah.
other than that, I really didn't notice anything that was
Yeah, I
impressive.
didn't see much. No.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next match that is important to our Scudetto race is the Salernitana match, who
Whew.
just got their asses handed to them, which I don't think is a good thing for us because they're going to come into this match with a chip on their shoulder, probably. They fired their coach and then hired him back on in like 48 hours. Did you see that?
Yeah. Typical Serie A
What is
move.
that?
Serie
What
A.
is that?
That's
Oh my
Serie
God.
A.
So, I mean, hopefully that has a little bit of that creates a little bit of a drama going on in the locker room, and hopefully they don't actually come out on that pitch like they're really playing with a chip on their shoulder. Like they just had 8 goals scored on them. I don't remember the last time that's happened in Serie A. I don't think it's ever happened since I've started watching. So let's hope, number one, that Napoli comes out and they take it to them and they don't have any hesitation in just attacking, because I don't want no let up to happen in that game. And I am a little bit nervous about it, to be honest. I don't think they're going to lose or anything, but I am just nervous about how Salernitana approaches the match and how Napoli reacts to that. And we'll see what goes. And then the thing that there's no road fans that'll be at the stadium. So I went to the Salernitana match last year, and there was also a ban for that specific game for whatever reason for the road fans. So the visitor section was completely empty. So I had to sit in the home section, and I found a spot where I wasn't, really worried too much, but I didn't see one Napoli jersey anywhere in the stadium, outside the stadium, no scarves, no hats, no nothing. So I don't think I'm gonna go to this match. I'm just gonna find a pub to watch it at in Napoli. What do you think is gonna happen in this match? How do you think Napoli's gonna approach it? And do you think Salernitana are they gonna come out with the chip on their shoulder, or is there gonna be too much drama for them to really perform well?
No, Salernitana is just awful. They're an awful team. I'm not worried about them. I think Napoli's going to come out and obliterate them, especially after losing this match. You've seen how we've reacted off of a loss like this past season, right? It's been different. It doesn't mess with our heads anymore. Our mentality is way up here, and that was the biggest issue with Napoli. It wasn't our talent, it wasn't our depth, it was our mentality. every season. I mean, yeah, under Mazzari, I could go way back. We didn't have too much depth. I just mean recently, in the past 5-6 years, this has been off. That shit's
Yeah.
on. So I'm
Yeah, I
guessing
agree. I agree.
4-1, 3-1 win, very comfortable win.
Ooh, 4-1. Ooh, I like
I could
that.
see a thrashing, another Osimhen brace possibly. I gotta see
Yeah.
Mario Rui get a goal in. I'm gonna say that every match
Oh
against him.
no. No,
What?
Mario Rui's first goal hasn't been at the Maradona.
Yeah, true.
His first goal can't be. They don't even have a visitor section to
Yeah, true.
cheer
Never
for
mind.
that goal, man.
Yeah, no,
We
no.
don't want that, man.
But
We need
watch him
him to
score there.
score.
Watch him score there, though.
Oh my
That
God.
actually be
I
pretty
hope
sad.
not.
Yeah,
Oh my
no.
God. It would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
But
I
Osimhen's
would
gonna get
rather
a goal
Napoli.
this match at least one. He's gonna keep on keeping on. I know he is.
If Cavada does actually sit, do you think Raspadori is gonna get that start on the left?
On the left, yeah, I could see him doing it. Or even
Yeah.
Elmas might try something. He might go left and Politano might stick on the right still. Him and Salernitana had this kind of love. I don't know what's going on ever since Inter. I guess he never learns. I don't know.
And do you think Spalletti is gonna keep most of the regulars in the starting lineup, or do you think he's gonna
Yeah.
try to?
Maybe like
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. Maybe like someone in midfield we might see something different. Like maybe we might not see Zielinski start. We might see Ndombele. He had a good match last game. He just looks a bit lazy sometimes, man. But if you saw like a couple of his highlights, he was one of our better players. In all honesty, he gets lazy sometimes.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I do remember watching him, and he seemed like he was into the match. He
Having
did.
fun.
He had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had
Just carries himself so
that
lazy
one.
sometimes. It's weird. I don't
Yeah,
know how to
yeah.
explain it, man. But he has all the trickery, the knowledge. He has it all. He can shoot. I'm surprised he hasn't laid one down yet. He's shot
Well, you saw the
bombs.
shot he took. That
Yes,
shot
the
he
goalie made a
took.
crazy block. That was a good block.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah, I
him
mean,
to a
maybe
start
that's
next time.
possible.
Yeah,
That is possible. Maybe he does get a start. I could see that happening too.
I hope so because he's not one player that I want to lose over the summer because he has so much potential, but people don't really see that because of how he carries himself on the field.
I think if I had to come up with a prediction in this match, I think I'm going to say 2-0. I think that I don't think Salernitana is going to really do anything to affect the match from an offensive standpoint. I don't think there'll be a threat at all. But I do think that they'll play pretty hard and they'll
Mhm.
probably foul a lot, and that will keep Napoli limited to maybe just like 2 goals.
Yeah.
If I had to
Okay.
pick who's going to score, it would be nice to see somebody out of the ordinary get a goal, like maybe Lobotka. Maybe Zombo can get a goal in there.
Well, Butker would
But
be
I
cool
think
after he
you're
missed
right.
that penalty kick. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Yeah, it would. But I do think Osimhen he's good enough to
Mhm.
score in every match.
Yeah.
Like predicting him to score in each and every match is a smart thing.
You'd probably make profit. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we touched on it a little bit with the ban for road fans for both Roma and Napoli due to the A1 violence that recently happened. So it is official. It's a 2-month ban, and that's going to take us at least through the end of February, if I
Yep.
look at it right.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping. I looked at the schedule, and I'm not really concerned
You say end of
about the
February?
schedule. At least the end of February. I think it might actually take us into part of March. We'll have to see exactly which matches are part of that, but
Hmm.
it is official that it's like a 2-month road ban. But I looked at that, and it doesn't look like we have anything to really, really worry about because the only team that we play on the road that's a real worry is Juve, and we're not playing Juve for a while. So I don't know if it's going to have an effect. I don't think it will. I
I th-
think everything's going to be fine. But
mm.
let's get into do you think the 2-month ban is warranted? Do you think it's too much? Do you think they should have done more? What do you think about that being what was handed down from a disciplinary standpoint?
It's just going to keep happening until you find the specific people that are doing this. Because I guarantee it's probably the same clique or the same group, or at least the same, you know what I mean. If you just start to pickpocket which of these people, no pun intended, pickpocket Napoli. If you start to do that, I guarantee that it'll stop. I mean, look at the NFL games, the NBA games. We have the same technology. We can look at who these people are. I know there's cameras at that auto grill. You know, the Carabinieri don't want to do nothing, right? We've already observed that. That's nothing new with Italia. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna keep happening. I don't see it stopping until specific people are, you know, taken out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that the ultras violence that happens on and off the pitch. I mean, it doesn't really happen
Yeah,
when I say on and off the pitch. I mean inside the stadium.
it's not that
It
crazy, but
doesn't
when it
really
gets crazy,
happen. There's not a whole lot of it in the stadiums. Like
no,
I've seen a lot of the yelling and shooting and shouting back and forth and stuff like that. But the way that they keep them separated, I think, is the biggest reason that nothing really happens in the stadiums. Most of the violence is outside the stadium, and I don't know if there's an easy way to just put a complete stop to it, but you're absolutely right. They need to find the culprits that are leading these events and hand the discipline to them, because banning the entire section for any Napoli fan to go to in the visitor section, I think that that's not really going to do a whole lot. And I think that it's a little harsh
yeah,
because
a
it's just
little,
like you said, it's a small contingency of the fans that go to these road games that is causing this violence, and what's most frustrating about it is that you would think that the Polizia could keep something like this from getting to
yeah,
the
my
point
boy,
where it got out of control. I mean,
yeah, my
the
boy,
videos that we saw, it was out of control. I mean,
yeah.
does the Polizia want to do their job or not? I don't know, man.
No lo
It's a
fanno
little bit
mai. They never
frustrating.
do it. They never
Yeah,
do it.
man.
I'm
All
not gonna get
right.
into
Well,
politics though. So real quick here, let's get into the transfer market. We see Osimhen has been talked about a lot. Even Cavada. I mean, come on, it's his first season here with us. Freaking, they're making airlines in Georgia for us. Like, why are these people on us so much?
no, it's because they're two of the best players in all of Europe. That's why. This this shit this shit happens every year. Every year, the Napoli best players are rumored to go somewhere. Every single
There's
year,
always big
the
talks.
summer. I mean, it's a constant thing.
Yeah,
So I don't let it phase me more often than not. There's no way that Cavada is being sold in the summer. He just got here. But I can't help to at least be concerned a little bit about Victor. So, the thing with Victor is, he's eventually going to go somewhere to a bigger club. I think we can all agree that
yeah,
that is more of a possibility than not, right? There's still a possibility that he ends up wanting to spend most of his prime career in Napoli, but it's realistic to just get, prepared both emotionally and from a club standpoint that he'll
mhm,
be sold. But his worth, like if you look at how much he's worth right now and imagine after we win the Scudetto how much he's going to be worth in the summer, I think that his worth is going to break or get really close to that 200 million amounts. Right now, I don't think Laurentis would even take 150 for him because Laurentis knows that his stock is just going to keep rising. But for me, I think what's most important about Victor staying on board, it's not a really good reason when it comes to hoping that he stays. It's going to be his salary. Laurentis is going to have to make a sacrifice
yeah,
to keep Victor. I mean, I'm not saying that the ADL needs to pay Osimhen what Manchester City would pay or Chelsea or
yeah,
any of these other huge clubs. All I'm saying is that he needs to pay Victor somewhere near that so that Victor feels like he's appreciated and that he still has a future with Napoli and that they're serious about building a dynasty. So we'll see how ADL handles that in the summer. I really don't know which way it's going to go, other than the fact that I know Victor's value is going to skyrocket. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think if you had to put a percentage on what you think it is right now with Victor staying once we get done with this season, what would it be? Whether we win the Scudetto or not?
I would say 80% chance he stays. I mean, all this
Really?
all this noise about him
Okay.
leaving, I understand it, but it was happening last season as well. And yeah, this is a different season. I understand that too. But I think he wants to win more cups with us. I have that feeling. But I'm not gonna be the guy that says, "Oh, he's gonna be with us for most of his career." Blah blah. No, no, no. I feel like he plays with us for at least 2, maybe 3 more years on like a little extension, probably. And then I feel like he would have had his time here with us and completed his like mission. Couple Scudetti, maybe. I mean, we don't even have one yet with him, so let's just focus on one first. But after that, it's it'll be fun to see what happens next. But even if we did end up losing him, the amount of money that we would get would be a substantial amount. And knowing ADL, he would know how to reinvest that into pretty good players. So I'm not too worried about it. But first thing I want to think about is Scudetto. I'm not really worried about players leaving.
I got you. Yeah, the one thing that may help with him staying too could be like if we're able to get to say like the Champions League semifinal, like the final four, I think that would be something to motivate him to stay too. Because if we can get that far, you know, who says that we can't win it next year? You know what I mean? So that might motivate him too, I think. And then do you see anything right now that you feel like is going to definitely need to be something that we go after in the summer? Like if we were to keep all of our main starters, other than the right wing, we know the right wing is a wash. We know that Politano and Lozano are probably gone. Elmas might become that starter, but we really don't know that yet. So,
Mhm.
other than the right wing, which is probably an obvious need, do you see anything else that we should be looking at in the summer as a possible signing just to, build our depth on our team?
I feel like we should get one more piece for our defense. We just lost Sidigu as a goalkeeper, so I feel like we should have someone else as a backup there. That's not too big of a deal. I think the biggest deal for me would be someone in the midfield. I see Zielinski possibly leaving soon. So I mean, even though he does love Napoli, he's been inconsistent, and I love Zielinski, but that's just the truth. He has been, and like regarding that right wing spot, we could have Elmas even start in that area that Zielinski's in. He's not just limited to right wing. Obviously, he's more comfortable. I feel like in the midfield. Um, but yeah,
I think you're
just
right.
that
Yeah.
just that midfield spot I think is pretty big, but also that right wing spot. Obviously, I mean that's huge for us this summer. Huge.
And like, do you feel like there's any players that are not obvious departures? Like, I think it would be easy to predict Politano, Lozano, Deme. If not
Yeah,
already in January, Deme be gone.
yeah.
Sidigu's obviously gone. Do you think there's any other players? You said Zelensky already. Is there anybody else that you feel like
And
is going to
Dembele,
leave? In Dombele, maybe.
and Dombele.
Yeah.
Can't really think of
Do
anybody
you think
else. No,
Simeone? You think Simeone is going to
no,
stay?
he
You think
stays.
there's a possibility he's yeah?
Nah, he
Yeah, I
stays.
think so
Unless
too, man.
unless a team offers him like some big money, But he's a great player and all. But I think he understands his role. I think he's happy with it. Same with we'll see how Raspadori reacts too. I don't know if he's going to start next season, but he's on like a 3-year deal, right?
I'm not sure. I have to actually look and see what his
Yeah. So
contract is. That sounds
because we need
right.
to get him, up and starting for sure, like soon. At least by next season.
What do you think about Keem? Because Keem has been,
Yeah, I was
there's
going to get
been
into that
rumors
too.
throughout the
Yeah.
year. I mean,
He still hasn't accepted, or he accepted the 45 million release clause, right? He still hasn't really changed that with ADL. He still wants to test the markets. So someone's going to pull that trigger. So I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like he does love Napoli, but just the fact that he's just, hasn't fixed that situation, I'm not too sure about him staying. So that could be a spot that we have to work on ASAP as well, because he is detrimental to our team. I mean, he took Koulibaly's spot, and some could even say he made it better.
Yeah, you know what I think with him, man? I think maybe what it is more than anything is he doesn't really want to do anything with his contract right now in the middle of the season. Because he hasn't really said anything himself. It's just been his agent. Like maybe it's just that he just wants to play, get through the season, and then worry about changing his contract up in the season or getting an extension or changing that release clause or getting rid of it. I mean, I don't know what ADL is thinking, but man, you're right. When it comes to his impact, he is between him, Cavada, and Osimhen. Those are our three most important players in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Lobotka.
he dominates. Yeah, Lobotka too. You're right. Kim dominates that back line. I mean, you never feel like there's going to be a game where he just doesn't perform. Right? He's
Right.
really played that good. So
Yeah.
Okay, Napoli Nation, that'll do it for episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and Forza Napoli sempre.
Forza sempre.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.